Today I'm going to talk about the Tenere 700, and specifically the things that I would change to the bike. If Yamaha was to come up with a new release of the Tenere 700, here would be a list of my recommendations to Yamaha Motor Company to make necessary changes that I think would benefit this motorcycle. First thing is I would recommend Yamaha to do is to see if there's a way to reduce the center of gravity, right? The center of gravity, lowering the center of gravity. Now, this bike does weigh about 460 pounds. It's probably the lightest, one of the lightest comparable adventure motorcycles. It's lighter than the KTM 850, but the center of gravity on this is high. So if there's a way Yamaha could figure out a way to lower it. And I specifically say that because I've experienced, coming when you get the bike at a certain angle, it's easy to tip over. I've witnessed that many times myself. The bike easily tips over when it's on an incline or at an angle. When you come to a stop sign, you try to make it turn. It's very, very easy to tip over. The other recommendation that I would make to Yamaha would be on the tires, right? So right now it comes with tubeless tires, and what I've noticed is, in my case, and maybe a lot of you may not have this experience, but what I've noticed is when I drive on the freeways, when I specifically go over like 75, 80 miles an hour, I do hear additional noise from the tires and coming from the tube tires, right? I think it's tube tires hitting up against the tires, and it makes additional noise. I don't get that noise on my FJR or my MT-09 and my other bikes. I've just noticed it with the Tenere. Now, the other recommendation that I'd make on the Tenere 700 is I would encourage Yamaha to increase the engine size to get more power and more torque out of the engine, because this is a pretty big bike. And I think although the twin does an okay job in comparison to the performance of my other bikes, I think additional power, additional torque would benefit this bike because it is a pretty large bike. So that's what I would change here. Now, I did do a custom exhaust. I did tune the bike to get additional power, but then I noticed that with the tuning, my fuel economy dropped. So that's a drawback with tuning. And a couple of other things that I would recommend Yamaha to change on the Tenere 700 would be the windshield, right? So if there's a way, the stock windshield comes with the bike causes a lot of wind turbulence. So if there's any way they could increase the aerodynamics, particularly for freeway riding, to decrease the turbulence by increasing the aerodynamics of the windshield, that would be great. And then probably the last thing I would recommend Yamaha to change would be the tank cover. Right now, this is a plastic tank cover. I mean, I didn't really notice. It didn't really bother me that much. It was plastic because I just got used to it. It's not your conventional cover with just bolt. It flips over, open aluminium, but this thing just pops open. But what I did notice was there was fuel. I could smell the fuel coming from the gas tank, and I felt like maybe the ring around the fuel cover, because it's so plasticky, right? I think there was fumes coming out, and I could smell it in sitting in the cockpit. So if there's a way Yamaha could just make this a non removable cover, that would be great. And then the other things that I would recommend to change on the Yamaha Tenere 700 would be possibly integrating cruise control into the bike, because I've taken this bike on long trips, and a cruise control would be really handy as an available option. And then obviously the last thing I'd love on the bike would be a quick shifter, right? That would be just make my day. So anyway, those would be my recommendations if I had the chance. Now I've ridden this bike for over a year and a half, clocked over 6,000 miles. So my recommendations are based on riding 6,000 miles and over this bike for over a year and a half. So anyway, that's all I wanted to report today on the Tenere 700. Stay tuned for more videos, and you guys have a great day. Cheers.